Cat Quest 3 is a hack and slash action RPG where you play as a kitten, but don't let the art style of the game fool you in thinking that this is a game for kids, because this game can get difficult at times and has surprisingly a pretty profound building system. But as always, let's start with the story and the main campaign. The story takes place in a pirate world where felines and dogs have the ability to do magic and combat. The story revolves around the North Star and how pirates are trying to obtain this star for their own benefit. I'm not going to talk too deep about the story itself, but there are some cinematic cutscenes which have been drawn beautifully. But overall, don't expect too much from the plot. One cool thing is though that the game has multiple endings. If you stick to mainly the main missions, you can complete the game maybe in like 4 to 5 hours, but this really depends on your skills because you will be underleveled and I'm not sure if you will be able to beat some of the boss fights. In order to level up and get new weapons, you need to do side quests and explore caves. Depending on how much you explore, you can add around 5 to 6 hours for this, so you can complete the game in around 10 to 11 hours. This might sound short, but keep in mind this game only costs $20, so I think this is a good deal. What makes exploring fun in this game is that from the start it is a fully open world game. What I mean by this is that you can decide yourself which boss fight you will do first and which route you will take. Obviously the game does hint where you should go, but it is optional. The world consists of multiple islands where the island at the top and to the east are the more harder ones, but also provide the best loot. I will discuss in the next video where you get the best loot, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see it. Moving forward to the gameplay looks very simplistic on the eye. You have a melee weapon, a ranged weapon, and you have 4 magic spell attacks. You use square for the melee attack, triangle for the ranged weapon, the right shoulders for the magic weapons, and dodge is the circle button. The combat is kinda similar to the Dark Souls games where you hit the enemy a few times and then dodge and wait for the next attack. But what makes the combat so much fun is combining all your attacks. For example, when you are using your melee attack, you can switch to your ranged weapon and blast the enemy with your ice wand. The more you attack, the more your mana fills for your magic attack, and then you can blast the enemy with different magic attacks. You can equip 4 magic attacks at once. There are a lot of weapons and spell attacks to obtain in this game. There are fast melee weapons or the more heavy-handed weapons or even shields like an Elden Ring. And in addition, each weapon has a unique specialty and scaling. For example, the hammer has a special ability that it will throw an electric shock after the 5th combo. The wand has a special ability that it can teleport when you dodge, and the wand fills the mana faster. And since there are a lot of weapon and magic attacks in this game, the building possibilities are insane. And I feel this is the best part of this game, because it is so cool to tweak your build every time when you find new weapons. There are bleed builds, strength build, arcane build possibilities, you just name it. I am really curious to see with which build you guys will come. I have been using more of a range mage type build where I would use the ice wand for my attacks, and when it would fill my mage meter I would use the fire, electric and the healing ability. I like this build especially for the boss fights where I often would have to regenerate my health. The boss fights have a nice variation and some are really tough, especially the Ice Mage boss fight. This one had me pulling my hair out a couple of times, but this was mainly because I was underleveled. There are 4 major boss fights and several secret and hidden boss fights. The one in the 8-bit castle is my favorite. Another cool thing is that you can play the game also in co-op mode and complete the boss fights together, but unfortunately I could not test the co-op mode due to the fact that I only have one controller. Overall, I have had really fun with this game. The combat is simplistic in nature but so much fun. The exploring and finding of new weapons and new boss fights in the open world is also really fun, and the best part is the builds that you can make. A point of feedback would be that the game is perhaps on the short side. However, consider the game only costs $20, I don't think that would be a fair point. Overall, I give this game a 9 and will really recommend this game. Let me know in the comments what you think of this review.